This is an addendum. It's a second video that I'm making that has to do with this time of coronavirus, flu, cold, and valuable information that came out after I've done more than 40 cases, confirmed cases. Unfortunately, today I'm very, very tired, but I have hardly slept for the last few days after 2 hours a night. You can see the deep blue under the eyes, but still, you deserve the video, and so the longer I wait, the more people might be hurt from lack of knowledge. So here's video number 2, giving you a little more information about the corona, and this information is quite vital. What I discovered is that even though what we do is we actually change the spiritual environment, and that's what we do in the quantum Vega system. We're not trying to treat corona or a certain virus, we're changing the environment. As the environment changes, whatever it is, whether it's a bacteria or a virus or whatever it is, it just doesn't have the ability to clamp on. So I'm going to start just like in the first video. I'm going to give you first vital information, then I'll give you theory based on reality and theory based on ideas, and I'll tell you what was my idea and what is the reality. Okay, so the reality is you can see people going the second stage of this thing is they end up with either heart problems or severe teeth problems or severe kidney problems or whatever it is in their body that was vulnerable. That is where this thing goes. And so what ultimately I've noticed is it basically reacts as if you have rheumatic fever. Now, I first thought that it reacts like this because the medical profession is treating this with things that are suppressive, and that's why it becomes like rheumatic fever. Even though normally when you treat bacteria, they treat it with antibiotics, and they usually don't end up with rheumatic fever. And here they're treating this virus, at least they tell people that it's a virus, and you end up with these rheumatic fever symptoms. So the heart starts malfunctioning and all kinds of other things start malfunctioning. And so the remedies that I found to be most helpful, we're going to start with that, and then we will go to what else I think about it if you care to listen. Because some of you out there use my information, even though you don't like how I teach or what I teach, but you definitely use the information. So by all means, use the information as long as you can help people. That's all I care about. I don't care how much you like or don't like how I talk or how I say it. I care you help people. And this is why I put this information for free. And each one of you homeopaths out there who in this time just don't put your information out because you hope to make money, shame on you. You should make money. I love money. I think money is great, but the information of helping people at a time like this should not be restricted by money. So basically the remedies that I used very successfully when it ended up going to the heart has been oleander mainly, cactus, and lobelia. The other remedy that proved to be amazing was Sida. It's a remedy that normally, something that you would normally not find, but look it up. It's called Sida, S-I-D-A. It's like an Indian plant. So here I gave you the main remedies: oleander, cactus, lobelia, and Sida. More specific, I found lobelia syphilitica to work like a charm. So oleander and lobelia syphilitica work like a charm. Keep in mind, the other thing I wanted to say is the first thing, if you don't know anything and you're just a homeopath who is a little confused, if you just give aconite and carboveg right away as it starts, it kills this thing like nothing. What we have seen is we've seen people who tested positive as soon as they took the aconite, the carboveg, within 2 to 3 days they tested negative. That doesn't mean all the symptoms went away. Excuse me. So this has been a real interesting thing. The other remedies that came up, and they came up as I was doing more spiritual research, have been Helleborus. And this thing does end up going into encephalitis, meaning it'll enter the spine and the brain, and it could become a very dangerous problem. So you see, it works just as if it's rheumatic fever. So you see people who have had this for a little while, and if it had time to develop, it started just like a headache or stomach ache or a little flu, but then very quickly went as if it developed into rheumatic fever. I gave you the remedies that have to do with the heart, which seems to be the thing mainly attacked. And here I tell you that Helleborus is going to be the remedy that deals with the central nervous system, the brain, the spine. I'm also going to tell you that this whole corona thing comes from a group of people and a group of energies. And when you make the spiritual analysis, it leads you into spirituality that is outside of the realm of normal homeopathy. In the quantum Vega system, I do teach it. And, as to all these type of influences, I will make another video. I'm only looking to see if I had written anything, any other notes to myself that maybe after I make the video I'll think, wait, I have not told them. So I said lobelia, cactus, oleander. And yes, here we go. And so the other thing that I've seen with this is that even after you get rid of the virus, people continue to cough forever and ever, and it does not go away. And what I discovered is that actually this thing ended up going into the vagus nerve, right? Isn't that funny? Vega, Veg means life, or the creation of life. Someone who likes aliens and such told me that life was created on the planet Vega a few 100 million years ago. Well, who knows if that's true. Nevertheless, if you take a look at the vagus nerve and you have irritation to the vagus nerve, you can have this cough that never goes away. The cough can become so strong, people become exhausted. And if you're an old person and you don't have the energy to cough so much, you can end up with all kinds of problems. So the complication of the heart and the lungs together can create water in the lungs, can create blood clots and all kinds of unpleasant things when the heart doesn't function properly. And so the other two remedies that I can tell you about are Viscum album to arrest that cough that will not go away even though a lot of the symptoms go away, and the other remedy in case it becomes where someone can absolutely not breathe, you have the Viscum album and Apis. Apis would do very, very well. So here I gave you more remedies. Now after I've got to see a whole bunch of cases, I can tell you that thank God I've lost no one and I hope to lose no one. And as I said, I don't treat coronavirus. I treat the time and the era, meaning that the reason that this happened is because a group of people decided this is going to be a great time to affect the banks, to create terror, to scare everybody, to make people terrorized. And what you need to know is that your immune response to terror is that your immune system cannot respond. It becomes weak and tired when you are terrorized, and it does not have the normal means to fight anything. So calm yourself down. This is a great time to practice meditation, even though if you've never done it, just sit a few minutes with yourself. You don't need to be Buddhist or anything like that. The fact that I did like that, I'm not Buddhist. Just sit with your center. I more like to do it like this. Sit with your center and look inside and imagine yourself as if you are a glove. Take the glove and turn it upside down and just look at it. Spend every day 20 minutes to 30 minutes looking at that. It'll make you more peaceful. You'll learn to be at home for a little while all of this is going on. For most of you who have not looked up the internet, who have not studied, they are turning this into a great financial thing in order to reset the economy and make as many people as possible dependent on the banks. They are using it to take out all kinds of political vendettas. The good people are using this to clean up the environment, to clean up bad people from government. So thank God for that. What can I say? This is a great time for all these speculations and conspiracies, but I highly recommend that you understand that all these conspiracies are always half true and half a lie. There's always some anti-Semitism attached to it. There's always some anti-good people in the government attached to it. There's always some anti-Russian attached to it, or anti-American attached to it, or anti-Republican attached to it, or anti-Arabs attached to it. It's always anti-something. So don't fall into any of that, but do understand that everyone is using this and trying to use it to their benefit. The finance people are trying to make money on you at this time, and they'll convince you if you don't do what they say, you lose, so you give them all their money. China apparently would help the information for a very long time because they wanted to get a head start on purchasing masks and equipment. At least that's what they say. I don't know if it's true, but that's what's out there. People are using this, I know, to get rid of Trump in America. I don't know if that's true, but maybe it is true. He's a great president. He's done great for America and for Americans and for the world. Bill Gates and the pharmaceuticals are trying to use this to do all kind of stuff. I heard a whole bunch of stuff about the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers and about hurting little children and all kinds of things. So all these things are probably all true. Everything has some truth in it. Don't get carried away. Stay calm and relaxed. Do your meditation. And again, this is for professional homeopaths. And the way I teach, it's not homeopathy that I really do, even though I say for professional homeopaths so that you may look a little bit away from how you normally work and try to treat a virus. The most important thing for you that I want to tell you, this is my theory. Up to here, I told you what I see, and I told you what I saw professionally and what I saw in the world and on the internet and from very important people who I work with and I know. I'm going to give you now a theory. Might or might not be true, but it's a theory. My theory is that diagnosing the virus is not enough because the virus is not what ends up killing the people. This virus comes together. It either mutates into a certain kind of a bacteria that becomes fatal, or it is something that comes along with another bacteria or with another two bacteria that are totally deadly. That's my opinion based on what I have seen. It's just a theory. I might be wrong, but just the virus itself, to my opinion, is just causing an uncomfortable flu, and I do not believe that that is the final cause of what's killing those people. Again, no doubt they're going to try and use this to vaccinate you. Be smart, be wise. The vaccine might be as bad or worse than the disease. Thank God today it seems like President Trump in America put a stop to the World Health Organization control over things and put a stop to Bill Gates, who was not able to take care of viruses when he was in Microsoft. How the hell is he going to take care of viruses now? He can create them, and I actually believe that even in Microsoft, a lot of the viruses were created by Bill Gates so that you would buy the next software, and now he's doing the same thing with vaccines. But again, this is my conspiracy theory, and it might be all wrong. So the second part of this, where I gave you my conspiracy theory and my theory, it's just a theory. I cannot prove it. It might or might not be proven correct. The first part is dead on. It's exactly what I believe and what I think. And that's it. This is the end of the homeopathic version of Event 201. All the best.